I wonder what he's going to be doing with that one as... I mean, this one is going to be difficult just because of how spread out Cerberus is. But yeah, he's lining it up here. We'll see if he can find anything.
And this is where spotters help out, right? Mime's up there just kind of feeding the angles in, see how this one's going to come. It looks like his beat onto Paisaki is pretty strong. Now it's going to be about, does he have the numbers?
Oh my goodness!
Tig just says, hell no, Tycon. You sit back down, sir.
Pretty strong. That did 300 damage that landed on his face.
That was a headshot with a mortar. 6 more games to figure out who's going to be going into the final bracket of all of this and who's going to have to be playing through the lower bracket. So there's a lot of stakes to be had as we got a pretty Erangel heavy day, but we're kicking everything off on Miramar.
That is true. And as you said, this is a fight for the top 8. They will be moving on to the grand finals and they will not have to deal with the absolute minefield that I'm sure the lower bracket is going to be. Even if you're stretching to an area like Minas General or even Hacienda is going to be quite the stretch here for some of those teams that do actually want to go towards the east. Vision on a lot of teams around them. The problem for though will be the Expendables who have a split and they're very aware of what's just happened.
Okay, we got Soniqs trying to fend up as Petrichor Road starting to make their run in. Some are going to be coming down. It's going to be Loki for Danoa that actually gets the vision into this. Crossfire going to be hellacious onto Petrichor Road. They've got that hillside that they need to try to navigate. That's why there's so many smokes back behind Petrichor Road as they're trying to make the push down into this one. But Soniqs just has to hold this line, playing through the smokes, trying to jump between them, and that's all they're trying to do. But look at the health. 2 of their members already down solo as cover is running away from a Petrichor Road, doing a great job on reading it, but just Tig remaining.
And Petrichor and Chewy have been looking at this for so long, but Tig will find the trade. It's down to a one-on-one, just Ixalis versus Tiggleton. And this is for a very nice little chunk of the circle here. I'm sure Tig would, as the mortar's now coming in as well, Matt.
Oh, trying to play around it. Tig just runs out, trying to play on the open. Gets the read onto it, and that's going to be a well played by Tiggleton. He's going to go ahead and pick off Petrichor Road, find the kill inside that. Now he's got to go for the res. His circle has abandoned them, though. Decides to go away from it though, gonna step away, and they're just gonna roll right into the backside of this. They have to make something happen. They're gonna be going into the long buildings versus longs. Shrimzy down, and now Hwinn gonna be having to wait on the outside because of the molly.
Oh, but Salute actually gonna find Hwinn, and that was gonna be difficult regardless. I do like the idea that Soniqs tried to execute, but again, Long so ready with that molly. He decided to just, you know what, at this point, I'm getting crashed by 2 teams. I might as well take care of one of them. And he let FaZe recover, so it's the lesser of 2 evils, I guess.
Big important points for question mark, because bear in mind, before those 11 points, they had 16 to their name.
Yep. And that's not a team that should have 16 points. Phil First alone has been a breath of fresh air in terms of how they played during group stages. He looked so good. This young gun, I think maybe this is where they turn it on, but it's not surprising to see EMA show up and be ready to play on day 2.
Ooh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Another Miramar game to kick the thing off. I'm excited as our last one was just ended on a calm note, but the middle section was banging.
Yeah, I mean, that circle was very difficult for a lot. We were talking about it even before that the final 2 shifts. There really just wasn't much to plan. We saw the symptoms of that with a lot of teams falling early, but this one, at least plane path, a lot more even for the teams.
Most of our teams definitely playing into that southern area of Death Star Trench, and there's no surprise. As 17 Gaming and Soniqs, yet again, just right next to each other. It doesn't matter where you go. These 2 teams, man.
They just can't get rid of each other, or they just can't separate, as Xiaowu is going to find a nice knock on a Hwinn there, and this fight is just happening so early. Tiggleton now going to find the knock onto Little Ghost, and so this is going to be the advantage on them if they want to push the pace. But look, on the south side of this map, Danoa.
Danoa creeping in, going to be very complicated. Now the shots are going to start coming into Soniqs. Tiggleton, Shrimzy wide out in the open, now going to be moving a bit more aggressive with a couple of those shots, probably giving away what's going to be going on. Little Ghost now being entirely flushed out. This is a very mixed up situation, as we can see that with Gen G now having to retreat out of position. We still have the Soniqs 17 fight fight that's been very, very protracted at this stage. Hwinn goes for a good flank into it, gets knocked on one. He gets the second one. Hwinn just absolutely pulls apart what 17 Gaming was trying to do. Remember the fact that we already had one member down and out in 17. So if Soniqs can get this res, it is going to be a full 4-man united front versus a solo remaining in 17.
A beautiful recovery there coming out from Soniqs as Hwinn comes up huge. He gets a nice little double there, but they are facing Xiaobei. And we know that Xiaobei has been an absolute force to be reckoned with here on the field as he's just slowly going for those angles, but they do hear him, and now Flash gonna come out. Can he actually do anything here as he's gonna swing around? But no, the Soniqs just hold fast and they will eliminate 17 Gaming.
Finally ending a fight that has been going on for so long, getting control over a compound, and now in Soniqs fashion, you just can't wait for the next circle to pop and go up next to Azahar. So all of that work was just to make sure to get rid of 17 Gaming and not even to get comfortable for too long. No real other fights happening right now. The South, though, is just, it's a mess, dude. Soniqs realize what's going on in the circle, going to be moving more aggressively into what's going to be happening with Danoa, but they're going to be bumping into T5. Vehicle's just going to come rolling down into this one, and T5 doing a good job on defending up, picking up a couple of these Soniqs members, but Danoa now wanting to get involved. They're shifting heavily down into the South, and let's be honest, nobody's going to come out of this one clean.
No, but T5 doing an amazing job there of defending against the push from Soniqs. Pretty much the only play Soniqs had, so I don't blame them for it, but again, what a hold. T5 have been just so damn impressive in the winners bracket.
FaZe, congratulations, you're through to the grand final here.
Peasy.
If only this was the grand final, but it's fine, don't worry about it, it's fine. We'll see how that goes a little later. T5, we can pretty much assure that they're going to be there as well. What a performance they've had across 2 days. It's been very macro focused, I want to say, especially with those emergency pickups, but very important for them.
And we have been having a very FaZe dominant day today, to say the least, is these in-game circles have just been completely and utterly controlled, but enough Miramar. Now it's time for Tego.
Well, actually, Tego has very quickly become my favorite map to watch, my favorite map to cast. It's been absolutely amazing. The games that we have been luckily gifted with this map have been amazing.
There's a lot of different fun things that we could be looking at. Do note that Army base is along this route, so we got a lot of military yesterday. Maybe we'll get ourselves some Army base this time, right? They know where they're at, but even if you win this fight, what do you do next?
Yeah, the next move is not going to be great, and the difficult part here for FaZe is that they've also been contested by teams shooting at them from distance, so they will clean that up, and that's also a difficult position to push. Those warehouses are notorious for being held quite easily. That nade was beautiful from Rolo.
To be honest, the circle as best as anybody else did, and can kind of defend up into this.
They can even use that massive airdrop there to potentially get cover as well, some new gear, maybe some disgusting weaponry that would help them out. As there they do come down. Danoa, though, starting to look for some sort of approach as Mime is going to find Capitan.
Phil first with the flank around, not wanting to relent off of it just quite yet. The rest of Danoa can't make too big of a move. Loki's just kind of isolated. It's going to be because of the way the Falcons were playing into this. Soniqs, though, are going to be creeping in right back behind the Falcons any given second. Could be a distraction and allow Loki to come provide something into this, but I think Loki, this is pretty much just done. QM going to finish up over here, and now it's more about this firefight.
Yeah, and Soniqs have slowly been picking apart Falcons as their position was more advantageous, especially coming off that hill, and now they're just cornering in through sills, and as long as they can get the trade, Tig will continue to dominate here. 6 kills on the side of Soniqs, and all the control for the boys in blue.
It's going to be QM now making the push into that rock. They just want to go ahead and make sure that they don't have anybody that's going to backside. I mean, just again, efficiently played is now walking into that Sonic sight line as they were going for Loki. It does come at a cost. They get Loki, but Loki does get Dante as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be nice for the Soniqs. They're going to realize they now have a member down, and they're just going to continue to to further their control on this circle, and they have center as well, Matt. And a spray from Hwinn is going to find a doozy, and they go for one, but a nice trade from Phil.
They just have ammo for days over here.
Second.
The brazenness of just holding that angle does get punished. 2 members now down as Soniqs going to try to regroup over there. And that... Ooh, that ghillie suit not going to provide too much with that blue backdrop back behind it, but Soniqs, they know that they have the control on it. They're just going to go ahead and finish it out. Soniqs going to go ahead and walk away with the round victory.
Man, that was almost a turnaround there. Phil first with 2 very nice back-to-back knocks.
And I think this is one of those rosters, each of these players has their own strengths. They've matured dramatically over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I even heard at breakfast, Shrimsy was sort of making fun of their coach, being like, he's just so military. Everything is about just getting stuff done, being regimented, and I think it has helped them a lot.
Meanwhile, I keep making fun of Shrimsy's breakfasts because it's just waffles.
It's waffles and he claims an omelet, but it's just a bite or two. It's mostly the waffles and the syrup. But if it's working,
you know
let's
what?
keep doing it.
Absolutely. It's 76 points for Soniqs, finding themselves in second place right now. Meanwhile, creeping up behind them, still without a win, bear in mind here, is Cerberus, who've got themselves 53 kills on the board.
Yes, thank you so much, Killaris and Toffees, as we head to our first of 3 Aaron goals on the day. Again, if you're curious, my name is Godsby, joined by Matrim, and so far today has been a comeback day. And now Na'Vi, I mean, they have a corner to work with, I guess, but they're going to have to deal with the Falcons. And as you said, Soniqs going to have a nice position on the south to work with. But realistically, I think Cerberus are going to be the ones to dictate the most of the control in the circle.
They're very, very focused on what's going to be going on. D plus Kia is now making their move. Curex is going to go and get spotted out by Soniqs. High ground versus low ground. Pretty easy peasy as far as the shift around coming up from Soniqs. But it is going to come at a cost of Mime. But that just a knock inside of it, really too much more.
Shrimsy, though, yeah.
And Shrimsy, so. Working through this one, they now get control of the top of the hillside. But the bigger problem is, guess what? They made noise in a gunfight. It's going to be Capitan as well as Cerberus just converging in on this Kia location.
If they commit too hard, though, Soniqs could read this and maybe go for a wrap back around and try to catch Cerberus off guard, but they're just putting in so much work and just raining down so much damage on the rest of the teams that are just trying to find any sort of cover. I mean, this one is going to be difficult just because of how spread out Cerberus is, but yeah, he's lining it up here. We'll see if he can find anything.
And this is where spotters help out, right? Mime's up there just kind of feeding the angles in, see how this one's going to come. It looks like his beat onto Paisaki is pretty strong. Now it's going to be about, does he have the numbers?
Oh my goodness!
Tig just says, hell no, Tycon. You sit back down, sir.
Pretty strong. That did 300 damage that landed on his face.
That was a headshot with a mortar. Tycon's like, I'm not checking that angle again, bros. I'm done. We just let him have the top of the hill. I don't even want to look up there anymore.
You shout out to the observers, too, for catching that, but I mean, that was... Wow, that was direct. That was a direct hit. You sunk there.
And DraftKings now really happy that he's in the low ground, not up there dealing with that. Mortar did. Oh, man.
That's still... That was wonderful. But yeah, Soniqs, I really like this. They've started to take a little bit of a better position as 2 of them are stacked on top of each other. It's going to be Limit, not Mime playing together. DraftKings has been found, so now this is a straight up 4v3 between the Soniqs and Cerberus.
Hillside between them, and they're just going to be playing the different recesses in it. And Tig going to go ahead and pop in the headshot on the Duckmai. That means that isolated position going to be more complicated. And we're pretty much looking at a 3v3 now. The low section and that flanked angle that we know that we can see them try to run through. On top of that, yeah, Haisaki.
The draw here for Soniqs to focus on. Meanwhile, Haisaki might even get that angle. They're just trying to buy time for him to see if he can find a knock and really get this wrap going and put Soniqs on the back foot. That's going to be the spray. Can he find it? Ooh. And there it is. Haisaki will strike.
Hwinn will go down. Haisaki took a ton of damage, but has got to be careful now. Oh, the blue zone going to be the one that does the touch of damage to polish it all off. Soniqs going to read that, realize the fact that what's going to be going on. Moss is going to be making this much more aggressive down that hillside. You see Soniqs going ahead, trying to make sure that they secure up. There's no push that's going to be coming through from that angle onto it, but it's going to be Hamas as well as Tycon just regrouping, and now as we've moved into circle number 8, it's going to be Cerberus that has dot control.
Yeah, and TGLTN has to be huge here. He has to try to defend so that Mime has the time to res Hwinn, because in a 3-on-2, especially with the equipment that Soniqs has, this is in their advantage. But look at the way that Cerberus is slowly taking control of the center circle. And I say slowly, but they pretty much rushed to this position, Matt.
Yeah, just running right down into their faces, hoping in fact it's going to be unexpected. But Tycon is going to go down. and now it is all down to a solo and a Moss. Talking about the fact that, okay, this might be the best player in the world right now. Can we see him make a miracle happen? Goes for the shots out, manages to hit into one of them. Can he get the other two? The line is going to be coming. Soniqs trying to make sure that they're playing this slower, change the pace. Amos says, no, I don't even want the dot anymore. I want you dead. Mime reads it, goes for the peek over. Amos gets another one, tries to move away, but he's going to go down. It is going to be the Soniqs that pick it up.
And even still, beautiful adjustments there from Cerberus. But yeah, the Soniqs coming up the south side. We saw it earlier, Matt. They were playing slow. They made sure to just take control of the south. And then once they got the shifts, they slowly started to kind of poke out, get control of the teams around them, especially to the east. We saw that the read was beautiful, though, when they realized that Cerberus had actually spread quite far north to try to get those kills onto D plus Kia.
And door towards 94 points for them here in second place. Fantastic stuff by them. We already said it before, but yeah, congratulations, you're in the grand final. Good stuff. But likewise, so is Cerberus. Danawa, I have to say, in terms of the glow up from yesterday, man, like Danawa, I thought they were having a real hard time yesterday. They definitely were. Really not that many points. But today, they've come back in fighting strong.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into the final two games of the winner's bracket here at PGS2 Gamers 8 Land of Heroes. And it has been so far quite a wild ride as we pretty much established the top of our teams going to the grand finals.
Running in, Ruin's going to be where Soniqs going to be leaning into. As you can see how quickly they got vehicles. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not going to stay that way for too much longer. This is such a bold rotation, but it's so well navigated as they're just kind of roaming through, shooting whatever moves around them. They're still not quite done. They see more kills to be had. They're like, yeah, sure, let's just keep the points per game average up. Let's just kill everything around us. T5 going to be in front of them. They're not done in their rotation yet. They're just going to send it straight into them.
Well, not only they're rotating, but they're just killing people on their rotation. They pretty much just deleted D plus Kia as they're now taking the fight as well to the team of T5 as they rotate just past. And T5, though, I am a little worried because they do have this split. Yeah, and Soniqs have a good amount of room here to kind of work with. They're obviously waiting for the circle to close here to see where they're going to want to move next, but I mean, there's really no pressure on them at all. It's just trying to, you know, slowly get rid of the expendables and kind of the position that they're holding, because that also would be great for them to kind of spread out on the south.
Yeah, this is just terrible for the expendables, especially with that shift. Backs up against the blue zone. They've got multiple members of Soniqs looking down onto them. They've got Shin Longs on the opposing side for Tai Lu. They're going to have to path into this circle where near on nothing could be had, but it's going to be T5 and Cerberus. Cerberus actually, while this is all happening, separating out and going for a wide split to see if they can set up some type of crossfire for the late game. But you know, at this stage, you also don't want to feed it over the blue. You know you need those points.
Yeah, because Tai Lu's there as well. The blue, they want to see if they can get anything else off this. As Soniqs now starting to make the push onto T5. Tai Lu, though, 755 will find the knock on a Tiggleton, and he desperately would love to get this point.
Doing the little spins around, gonna finish it out. As now it is going to be T5 got themselves out of their little recessed bunny hole, rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it. TE trying to roll no tires. They're gonna go down, and that does. Actually, it goes over to the blue zone on technically both accounts.
Yeah, so they did deny those points, which I think was very smart. And look at this, I'm gonna step over the top. He'll find Hot Swat and do quite a bit of damage as well to the other member there of T5 as they retreat. This is a bad position for T5. Tai Lu is just not letting it happen, and in doing so, they've actually pretty much pinned Soniqs to play the backside of this without really getting aggressive the way they want to. So amazing stuff for that team. The fact that they're able to still do so much damage and dictate this.
Oh, here it goes.
T5 is just looking for it.
They just used that opportunity. That was a smoke thrown down. About a quick spin coming out from H1 was going to get the knock on the one of mine. Trying to play from the defender, but no, Soniqs going to go down. T5 makes a quick play back out from this one, but it's going to be on to Tai Lu to try to hold it. T5, though, they're still not done. Shin playing from that tree line, just trying to cling to life. It's all onto him. They've got the circle, as long as he can continue to stay alive from here, they can harass T5 and their numbers.
And how impressive for them, stuck in the bunker, Matt, to be able to come out and take the fight to Soniqs. 8 kills, but also take the fight to Tai Lu, and it's down to some 4-on-1, and they will absolutely clean it up. What a game from the boys from Thailand.
Just steps out and makes it look easy. Soniqs are right on top of you, fine. Shin, Tyloo's been racking up all these kills behind a tree. Who cares? Let's just go ahead and take this one done.
I will say, Soniqs has now managed to take #1 here off of FaZe. There was a moment in this Toffees where we thought, is Soniqs gonna go for the 3-peat?
I thought they would. I thought I was going to set this crazy storyline. Maybe FaZe gets the last one. I think T5 up there passing Cerberus is a big deal, but I really want to get to that 8th place cutoff because that's what the last game is all about.
Top 8. We've got one game to figure it out. Tyloo not quite done yet, putting up a massive game. T5 as well. We are right neck and neck to figure out who's going to be going on to that grand final and who's going to have to go down to the lower bracket. And this is pretty contained with the way that the hills are kind of lined in. Na'Vi is a bit more focused on what's going to be coming in to the south of them, most notably Cerberus and all the other teams that are going to be crossing along that road. We've got a whole bunch of different pop-off fights that are starting to brew right now. Soniqs most notably looking in against 17. This is going to be right along that edge of the zone. They're going to have Daytrade that's going to be back behind them. Up to the north, we're going to have LG as well as Falcons trying to make their approach, while Petrichor Road is just pathing right by everything. I guess there wasn't a lot of good options for their rotate, so they just take off into the air. They're going to be right over here next to question mark. Not going to be too comfy with it. Soniqs, though, also going to continue this harassment that they've got to deal with Na'Vi. Uba being the gatekeeper and lining up against the rest of Na'Vi playing on the opposing side of this hill. Example coming up right back behind them. There is no safety to be had here. Soniqs, your time in this world is gone.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're going to finish they might still finish in first place. More importantly, Na'Vi really need to get, they need way more kills. They need to keep snowballing this forward if they want any hope of actually qualifying.
Week are the 2 days overall. Cerberus does come in as the leader in the kills. Soniqs with the damage, not too surprising there. And of course, Soniqs survival time, which makes sense with all those chicken dinners that they managed to bring home.
Shin with those 10 points has been able to take 8th place. It was not Pero, it was not Tyloo who were able to make it. So on our left side, Soniqs, FaZe, they're on 5, Cerberus, Danawa, question mark, Falcons, and Gen G gets to the finals.
Welcome back to the main stage where we are joined by Hwinn from Soniqs with an absolutely outstanding performance throughout the entire day. You placed first. Top of the leaderboard, my friend, going into the grand finals in a few days' time. That's got to be such a morale boost. Can you just talk us through today, how it was for you guys? Take us through your day.
Yeah, so we only needed like 20 points, but we didn't want to come into it with that mentality. We wanted to be first. We wanted to get better practice for finals, and we've secured our spot, so yeah.
You definitely have secured your spot for sure. Now, you know, we like to give some people sometimes the opportunity up here on stage to kind of pat some of their teammates on the back, as it were. Is there anyone out of your team that you think has particularly shone today and kind of enabled you to claim that top spot?
Yeah, I think everyone played a part, but I'd have to say Tigleton with the mortar knock. He's been trolling in scrims for weeks. It's been a headache, but it paid off, I guess. Man's a god with the mortar, so yeah, Tiggy for sure.
I mean, I think I speak for everyone as well to say that you had an absolutely outstanding day today as well, so I just kind of had to put that out there. But is there anything that you would like to say to your fans, your supporters, family who have been supporting you, throughout this entire tournament and before?
Oh yeah, of course. Shout out to our friends and family in Twitch chat. We see you guys supporting us. Also, shout out to the haters. For every one of you, there's 5 fans of Soniqs, so yeah, where are you now?